15 things you should know if you have to deal with the police. You will have to deal with police officers at some point in your life. We'll answer the most common questions, even if you haven't broken any laws. What if and can they questions about police? You can click the like button, and let's get going. What do I do if a police officer stops me on the street? You must tell the officer your name and where you live. As soon as you tell them this, ask, "Am I free to go?" If the officer says that you can go, you can. When you go to a different country, you should always carry a copy of your passport or another form of ID. A copy of your passport, visa, or tourist card, as well as a business card from your hotel. Stay polite all the time. And remember that you should never touch a police officer. Even if you're just being nice, if the police ask you questions, it doesn't mean they think you've done something wrong. But if they don't let you go when you ask to, or if they tell you what your rights are, they think you've done something wrong. Do I have to answer what they want to know? No, you don't have to say anything. Even if you don't answer a question, you won't get in trouble. Talk to your lawyer first. Remember that in court, only a judge can make you answer questions. What do I do if a public place asks me to leave? If the police tell you to leave a public place, you should leave. They think you might be the cause of a fight that's disturbing the peace. They think you're very drunk or high and a threat to the people around you or their property. They think you're homeless or mentally unstable. In this case, the police don't need a written order to tell you to leave, but there are some exceptions. For example, the police can't tell you to leave if you're on strike or protesting a political issue. What if the police pull me over? You should stay in the car. Keep your cool and be kind. Keep your hands on the steering wheel so the officer can always see them. If the officer asks to see your driver's license, registration, and insurance card, show them, but don't open the window all the way. Instead, step outside. If the officer asks you questions, only answer questions about why you were pulled over. Tell the officer that you won't answer any questions that don't have to do with that. When the police pull you over, why do they touch your car? So that they can leave their prints on it. Police officers do this. In case of an emergency, this can show that they have met a certain driver. They will be able to find out who drove the car from the fingerprints on it. Dash cams are now in most patrol cars, so officers don't have to leave their fingerprints. Some might still do it because it's hard to break the habit. What if I've been mistreated by the police? Write down the officer's badge number, name, or anything else that could be used to identify them. They have to give you this information. Find people who saw what happened and get their names and phone numbers. If you're hurt, go to the hospital, take pictures of your wounds and make copies of any papers the doctor gives you. Then, call a lawyer and file a complaint against the officer who hurt you. What do I do if a police officer asks me for money as a bribe? A police officer can't ask you for money. If you get pulled over, you'll get a ticket. You can only pay tickets at certain places, like the DMV, the courthouse in the county or city, or online. If you don't agree with a quote that was given to you, you can contest it in court. Don't give money to police officers who ask for bribes if they ask you for it right away. Try to hide their badges most of the time. If you can see this information, write it down, and pay close attention to any license plates that you can see. This information can help you find the police officer in the future. Be courteous and kind at all times. The event will be talked about in the future. What should I do if police officers come to my house and ask through the door if they have a warrant? If the answer is no, don't let them in and don't answer any of their questions. Say that we don't have to talk. If the police say they have a warrant, make sure you see it before you open the door. If you've already gone outside, shut the door, and asked to see the search warrant, make sure it has your full name and address, the date it was issued, the name of the judge, a list of the things to be searched for, and the name of the agency doing the search. If the warrant has any mistakes, you should tell the officers about them. Don't agree to the search if there are mistakes, but don't argue or step in, either. If the officers still decide to search, call your lawyer as soon as you can. Ask if you can keep an eye on the search. If you're allowed to pay attention, write down any information that could help you find the person. Names, badge numbers, car license plates, and the agency's name. Check to see if all the officers work for the same agency and make a note of anything they take. Find a witness and watch the search. Can police search me, my house, my car, or the bag I'm carrying? Not unless you tell them they can. You have to say out loud that you don't want them to look through your things. I do not consent. They can if they have a warrant or a good reason to think you committed a crime or have evidence of a crime in your bag, car, or other things you own. Do I have to show immigration officials my papers? You should always have your immigration papers with you. Depending on your immigration status, you may need one or the other. If you don't have the right papers to stay in the country, you could be arrested. Keep a copy of your documents somewhere safe, and if you lose them or they're about to expire, apply for new ones right away. If I have valid travel documents, can police officers stop me and search me? Customs officers can stop, hold, and search anyone or anything coming into the country. TSA agents can stop you and search you or your bags if they want to. But you can't be chosen for a personal search just because of your nationality, race, gender, religion, or ethnic background. Can airport security look through the files on my laptop? They can, yes. They can even copy the information in the files if they want to. If your laptop is chosen for a search, write down the name of the person who does the search. To find out why the TSA searched you, you can and should file a complaint with them. What if I have to take my clothes off? This doesn't happen often. If this happens to you, it means the police have a good reason to think something is wrong. They have to take you to a private area, and the officer who searches you has to be the same gender as you. What if I see a crime happen? Protect yourself by hiding, running, calling for help, or doing whatever else you need to do to stay safe. Check to see if anyone else needs help and call 911 to report the crime and get police and medical help to the scene. Don't touch or move anything, because it could hurt or destroy important evidence. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Pay attention to people, car models, license plate numbers, and anything else that stands out. When the police come, take pictures or video, tell them what you saw, and answer all of their questions. In reality, the police can't make anyone give a statement, but they can get a subpoena, which tells a witness to show up in court. What do I do? If I need the police's help, make sure 911 is on your list of people to call in case of an emergency. If there is no real immediate danger, you should call your local police department. Having their number in your phone is also a good idea. So, remember that when dealing with police officers, you should always be calm and polite. You should never argue with or touch a police officer, and if you don't agree, you should always say so out loud. Have any of these things ever happened to you? Share this video with your friends to keep them safe and let them know about your experience. And if you haven't already, sign up for our channel.